Okay, so welcome to our call today. One of the main things that we're going to talk about is the uploading documents and uploading your materials to Draft2Digital. I know some of you had some questions about that. So I want to congratulate Leah as well for her book launch today. Leah is an international best-selling author, which sounds so amazing. So congratulations, Leah. I'm very, very excited for you, very proud of you. So we ended up having 4 books that launched today. So a lot of times people are asking questions about, okay, what's the next step now that my book is out? Especially if you have your ebook, and we wanted to launch it on Amazon and collectively get those in there. And now because you're already out and you have that ranking, you can use it and market that. And so now the next step is to upload it to different aggregates and be able to put your book on different platforms like Barnes & Noble, because Barnes & Noble is going to give you an 85% royalty, whereas Amazon caps at 70. So for your nonfiction books, it's a better idea to be on some of these other platforms. So I wanted Alana to jump in today and answer some questions, also to walk you through it. And I recommend, if you're in that place where you want to start uploading it, try to do it while you're on the phone today or on this call. So if you have questions, you can ask her live. And for those of you that aren't in this stage yet, don't worry, there is a training from Alana in our student portal. So you will be able to watch it back and have that recording on top of this one where you can ask live questions as well. And so any other questions you have about that process of uploading your book, this is going to help you get in different countries and on different aggregates. So thank you guys for being here, and Alana, take it away. Oh, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear her?
No.
Okay. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you. Nope.
Nope.
I wonder if you need to log out and log back in. Okay, so she's going to log out and log back in. So while she's doing that, I'm going to just make sure everybody else is getting in. I'm going to mute 1 second. Let her back in.
Melanie, can I ask you a question?
AJ, hold on 1 second. I'll be right
Sure.
here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is this better?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so let me get the video up, and I know, Melanie, at one point, I think you had mentioned having an affiliate code for Draft2Digital, so people need that, and you have it, you could throw that in. And yeah, let's talk about Draft2Digital. So I'm gonna get my screen up.
And I know, AJ, I'm sorry, I was multitasking here.
No
You
worries.
had a quick question as well. So while she's pulling that up, did you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Sure. I was just wondering how far in advance from when you are going to launch do you need to set up your KDP account?
Oh, great. That's a great question. So you can set it up at any point, because basically all you're doing is setting up your author portal. So you want to put your contact info in there and your banking, so that when you are selling books, you'll be able to get that set up. especially for those of you that are doing pre-sales. Sometimes you'll have a longer lead time between the time you publish and actually launch your book. So you can pretty much do it anytime, but you want to do it really when you're getting close to publishing, because you can't upload your materials and actually publish till that account's set up.
Okay. All right, that's it. And thank you. I did finally, once I gave you my actual email address, everything went through. So thank you for that.
Perfect. Oh, good. And I would
Oh.
just suggest, like, maybe if you're trying to gauge where, if you've turned in your final draft and you're waiting for editing or formatting, then that's a great time to set up your KDP account.
Okay, yeah, I'm still waiting for my illustrations to be finished, so I will wait until that point and then I will set it up.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and what about for this weekend? Did you send the link for, I feel like when I clicked on the link for this weekend, there was a point to pay, but is that the same place that we log on for free if we are part
Right.
of?
So we have a registration. Great question. We have a registration page for people that are not our clients. So if you are a client, basically everybody on the call, you have free access to a ticket this weekend. And what we've done is given you a tag as a client. So you'll receive the emails about the event and you'll be able to log in and you'll be able to basically get into the event as our guest, and you don't have to buy a ticket. If you have a friend or somebody that isn't part of our tribe and they want to come to the event, you can give them that link and they can register there. And they do get 2 tickets. So if they buy one, they're going to get an extra ticket to give to another friend or somebody else if they like to.
Okay, so just Saturday, I just sign in and I'll already be able to
Yes.
come in. I don't have to sign up or anything.
No,
I just,
you'll get an email. I basically have everybody that's on our group, everybody that gets the same email for these weekly calls. You're all part of our tribe. So you'll get an email with the information. It does start Saturday at 8 a.m. It's an
Okay.
all-day event, and just make sure you come in with your materials and anything that you need to kind of, we're going to go on a deeper dive and start putting the pieces together. So by the end of the day, you're going to have everything you need to be ready to publish, other than your final manuscript, which is what you guys are still working on.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And those of you that have already written and your book's already out, you're going to find out more marketing tricks and things that you can do to actually promote your book. Some of the things that we talked about on this call and some other things that we've recently ran into that are working very, very well for authors that we can share with you. Just a little deeper dive on the marketing side too. All right. So thanks for asking about that. And Alana, you ready? You got everything set up?
Alrighty, yeah.
Okay.
Can you see my Draft2Digital screen?
Yes, we do. We see it there.
Alrighty. And then did you want to share, Melanie, do you have a Draft2Digital affiliate? Otherwise, I'll share mine if people need, haven't set up an account yet.
I do. I can put it in the chat. Hold on a second. I just
Yeah.
have to pull it
I
up.
can, okay, yeah, take your time, but yeah, so if you don't have an account, wait till Melanie gets you the link. Draft2Digital is an aggregate. That means that they're going to take your book and they're going to send it to lots of different places. So when you upload to KDP, there's some advantages. You get a slightly higher royalty than you would get if you went through KDP on Draft2Digital. The updates that you make happen faster and things like that. But then by the time you want to get your books into Apple Books, Barnes and Noble, all these others, now a lot of them you do have the option to go to them directly, but it's a lot more of a hassle managing multiple dashboards and things like that. So the blanket recommendation for most authors is to put your books up on KDP and then to create yourself an account at Draft2Digital, and Draft2Digital will send it to basically anything else. This is a list of the stores that they send to right now, and they're very regularly adding more.
And I actually put the link in the chat. So for those of you, if you go to www.draft and then the number 2, draft2digital.com/defining moments, or you can click on the link below in the chat. And that'll give you access, because as a publisher, we have, we can help you guys get on there a little bit faster and makes it a little bit smoother. So we do give you our affiliate link to use for that.
Awesome. So yeah, you will, once you go through Draft2Digital, it's basically uploading to one dashboard, and that's going to get your books on Apple, Barnes and Noble, Kobo. which is really big in a lot of the non-US markets. And then it also gets your books in a lot of the like borrowing apps. So I don't know if any of you know Scribed. It's basically you pay like $10 a month for unlimited, any book that's in the Scribed catalog you can read. So some of these are more like that. Overdrive and Biblioteca are really cool. Those get you into the library catalogs. So a library can purchase your ebook and then the library can loan that ebook out. So the way that works is you'll set your library price a little bit higher. So let's say your ebook is usually $7 if like one person's going to buy your ebook. Then what you could do is you can make your library price something like $10 to $15. And how that works is one library will buy your ebook and then they will loan it out one at a time to somebody. So that person can have it usually for like up to 3 weeks. And then when they return it, it can get loaned out to somebody else. So it's similar to loaning out a paperback, but it's for your ebook. They also will have a print option. And so anything that's not Amazon that you want to be able to sell your print copies for, they will distribute there as well. And their dashboard is beautifully refreshing compared to any of the other dashboards. So I really like working with Draft2Digital. Another cool thing is they will allow you to, they kind of network on your behalf with some of these stores. So let's say that Kobo is going to have a promotion for self-help books that are all $2 or less for a month. Draft2Digital will allow you to join some of these retailer specific promotions because they're constantly looking for ways to help authors to not only distribute their books, but to sell their books. So it's a great option. The one thing you want to do, and anybody holler if you need me to walk you through, when you set up your book on KDP, if you also want to go to these other stores, that does mean that you need to opt out of KDP Select. KDP Select is only for authors who wants to be exclusive to Amazon. Going through something like Draft2Digital allows you to not have all of your eggs in the Amazon basket, which a lot of people like. A few of the other benefits are like Amazon is right now and probably for the foreseeable future, the biggest ebook seller in the US. But some of these other stores are the biggest, like Kobo is the biggest ebook seller in Canada, for example. So it's a great way to grow your audience internationally. And it's also a really nice way to insulate yourself. Let's say that tomorrow Amazon decides that they're going to change up their royalty rates. And so then authors are automatically going to earn half of what they used to. This means that your books are going to be into other areas as well, so that small changes or even big changes to Amazon, like let's say every single ebook now gets sales taxed or something like that. No matter what changes happen on Amazon, having your books in some of these other stores and having a following of readers in these other stores can be really, really useful. There are also a growing number of readers who, for just kind of ethical concerns or reasons of conscience, don't like supporting Amazon. And so you're able to help them to get, to still get your books.
Oh, real quick, Alana, I was going to jump in real fast and just
Please.
remind everybody, when you're writing your book, make sure, if you haven't published yet, try not to mention Amazon in your book. Like we used to put the Amazon links at the end of the ebook. So a lot of authors like to have multiple volumes, and then they'll have a link at the end of their ebook to the next book, and they'll put an Amazon link. But if you have Amazon links in your book, it can slow down the process of Draft2Digital because you may have to re-edit and reformat because they're competitors and they don't necessarily want Amazon on your cover or mentioned in your book or links from Amazon on your digital ebook. So
Really
keep that in mind and try to make your book more evergreen, to not talk about Amazon if you can.
Yeah, that's another reason why I really recommend go direct through KDP, and in those book manuscripts, it's fine to have the Amazon links. But yeah, that's a really good point for these. Like I have a book on how to run Amazon ads, and Apple Books refuses to publish it, because they're competitors. They don't want to play together. Speaking of links, let me show you something else that's just really cool that Books to Read does. I'm sorry, Draft2Digital does. They have a partner site called Books to Read, where you can take any ebook and easily find the links to all of your stores. So I'm just gonna run to Amazon and I'm going to find a book. Let's see, Defining Moments. Let's see, just see what comes up. There's too many defining moments. That's okay. I'll just grab one of mine real quick and show you what I mean. So
That's funny. I literally just got off with my trademark attorney because that's been an issue that we've seen a lot of.
right. Okay. So you take the link to your Amazon book and you go to books2read.com and they will give you a page that you can send people to so that they can get your book from any retailer that they want. So now I'm just going to go to copy link. It's going to take them a little bit of time to find that book, but once they find it, then I can send readers to my books to read page, and it's going to pull up all my links. It'll have the Kindle link. Once they finish looking for all the links, it's going to have links to that book in Kindle, Apple, Barnes and Noble, and so on. So they really are a very author-friendly and reader-friendly service, and their interface is refreshingly simple. So let's dive into their interface. When you have made your account at Draft2Digital, you'll go here to My Books and add a new book. I would say that this is probably like a third as complicated as the KDP dashboard is. And the KDP dashboard, even once you know what you're doing, isn't really all that complicated. But it's real streamlined, really nice. Okay, so you'll upload your cover file. That one's really simple. You'll give them your book title, so draft book. You fill in the publisher, the author name, the language. You don't need to fill all of these. Like, you know, your book might not be part of a series. You might not have a volume number. Search terms is another important one that we can spend a little time talking about. So KDP gives you 7 search terms. Draft2Digital gives you as many as you want, I believe. However, it's best to put your top priority search terms the highest. So let's see, who is it who has a book out today? Is that Leah? Do you want to even tell us what your book is, and we can kind of talk about search terms for yours? Do you want to be a guinea pig?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you need the title?
Either the title or just tell me a little bit about it. Either one will work.
Well, the title is Living with Dirty Glasses.
Okay. Yeah, I think we looked at the description for that one. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was super helpful, by the way.
I'm so glad. Well, and congratulations on your launch.
Oh, it's right next to champagne.
No, but that pops right up. That's great. Okay. So, okay. What we might want to do is start with like the broadest terms, right? So maybe like self-help, personal healing. You know, you can start with the ones that make the most sense, but then you can really just give them a ton. So those are the search terms. You know, I wouldn't do, you don't need to make it like super long. You don't need to do like a book about living with dirty glasses by Leah. You know, you don't need to do stuff like that, but any term that you think might be even remotely useful, you can throw in there. Where'd I go? There I went. All right. This BISAC, I don't know how you say it, but these categories are going to be similar across a lot of publishing platforms. So you're just going to kind of, as you get familiar with publishing your books, you'll get familiar with some of these categories. So you need to pick your list. I believe they're going to give you 2. Choose the categories that best describe your book. The most important listed first. You can choose up to 5, but many of our vendors will only support the first 1 or 2. Okay, so choose your first top 2 is the most important. So for this one, let's start with self-help maybe. And then they give us more options. I'm going to make this a little bigger. So maybe motivational, inspirational, as an example, might be a good one. And then we might also decide to add in Maybe it's spiritual, maybe we want to make these the top two, and then we can add, a couple more. Maybe we're going to also add general self-help, and that two of your chapters deal with anxiety and phobias, and maybe there's something in psychology as an example that might work. So with your search terms and your categories, just remember the top 2 or 3 are the most important, but then you can go ahead and add some more. Let's start by just doing the ebook, but like I said, they will allow you to do your paperback through here as well. And I have found that to be a really nice additional source of income to the KDP. Another cool thing about having your books in KDP and having your books in Draft2Digital, it basically means 2 paychecks a month. So the payment terms are KDP will pay you 2 months after that calendar. So in March, at the very end of March, you get paid for the sales you made in January. So your paychecks from KDP are going to come around like the 28th of each month. The Draft2Digital payouts are usually right in the middle of the month. So it's actually a really nice way to manage your cash flow too, because now all of a sudden you've got twice as many paychecks coming in. All right, so let's do our ebook. Oh, okay, they want my cover, but since we don't have one, I won't do that yet.
Sorry, Alana, can I ask a question quick?
Yes, please.
The other excuse me, the other website, Books to Read, is that part of this platform, the Draft2Digital?
It is part of this, yeah. So once you put your book up through here, your books will automatically show up in the Books to Read. So it makes it really, really simple, because your books are going to end up probably for sale in 15 different places. And so it's really convenient to be able to send people to one link to buy it from wherever they want.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so you upload your manuscript. I believe that everybody's manuscript has already been formatted, right, Melanie? We don't need to worry about formatting.
Yeah, I mean, so for their ebook, we usually use now it used to be Mobi and EPUB, but now we just use EPUB for everything.
Yeah.
So I think you can use the EPUB versus using Microsoft Word and reformatting it on your own.
That would be an option too. Draft2Digital. So if you've got the formatted EPUB, just do that. If you are doing something where you've got just the Word document, Draft2Digital has some really nice formatting options that if people are interested, I can walk you through. Where basically you upload the Word document and then you get to choose, here's what your chapters look like. Some people, myself included, I even use Draft2Digital to make my EPUB file that I then go and upload to KDP, because it's really streamlined. So for anybody who doesn't have an EPUB, you can always go to Draft2Digital, upload just your straight up Word doc, and they will give you some really nice formatting options so that you've got your chapters looking pretty and things like that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
On a Mac, is there an option for EPUB as well?
I assume so. Yeah.
I think it is. So
AJ, yours is going to be formatted, because yours is going to be a fixed format. It's going to be a little bit different than Flowable for ebooks. So that's, we basically are doing all the formatting in-house for you guys. So therefore, if there is something we need to tweak, you don't have to wait weeks for some freelancer to get it out to you.
Okay, so how do I send it to you? Just as a Word, a PDF file, or?
Well, when your book is published on Amazon, we actually do the formatting for you. So once you have your final illustrations, then you send us the documents. Then we basically drop everything in, and we will create probably a PDF as like a fixed format for your.
Well, that's what I was asking you. I should send it to you as a to Micah as a PDF.
And then what we're going to do is launch your ebook first on Amazon, and then once you out, like all these people that launched today, now they can start working on their print version, and they can start uploading their ebook into other forms, because now they can push sales besides Amazon. Now that they have their bestseller ranking.
Right. Okay.
That's really the only reason we care about Amazon. And the thing is, they used to use a Mobi file, and like Draft2Digital wouldn't even accept Mobi because that was an Amazon only file. Like they're very, you
proprietary,
want your book to be compatible and get along with everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll handle that for you, AJ, but I want you guys to know how to do this so that you can go in and make your changes and upload this part yourself, because there's choices and things you can make on the colors and all that kind of stuff too. And then
Mhm.
if you want to reformat it and do it on your own, you can do that, or you can just use the formatted copy we give you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I have a really quick Word doc that I can even show you. I think, yeah. So I'm going to do a quick upload here just so that you can see the options that they give you, because it's a nice service that they kind of an additional service that they provide. So give me just a second to pull that doc up. Okay, so I'm going to upload my doc. And then after we do a few more steps, then it's going to allow us to look at the formatting. All right, so the ebook release date, it's either today, if you're just putting it up there, or you set a future date. Your description, it's not going to be any different than your Amazon description. It's going to be this description right here. You may also do little formatting things, if you wanted something bold or in italics or things like that. It's telling me my description's too short, so I'm just going to borrow. I'm not actually publishing this. I'm just giving them something so that they can do that. You can add a paid collaborator. So this would be cool if anybody ever does anything with co-authors and you don't want to be responsible for splitting the payments yourself. You can set that up through Draft2Digital. So again, they have a lot of just very author-friendly tools. We don't need to do any of that right now. For ISBNs, Melanie, are you buying ISBNs for people, or are people using the KDP ISBNs?
We're just using the free ones from KDP, and then we'll just use the one that they assign here. So each aggregate will just give us their own.
Yep. It's the simplest way. That's how I do mine too.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten into buying them in the past, but it just seems to be more confusing to people.
Yeah, there's not a need.
And since they're all self-publishing, like we buy ours because we publish our own books too, but since they're self-publishing, we just tell them to use the free one.
Yeah, that's how I do it. So yeah, you just like give me.
But some people do come to us and have their ISBN. So if you do,
sure.
This is where you enter that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Next step. This is where we get to look at the formatting. If you even wanted, they will add your title page, your copyright page, and about the author and things like that. This is the chapter layout, but if it's not what you see, then you can tell them like, okay, here's where my chapters start and stop. Back to my layout. And then they're going to allow you to play around with what you want your chapter headings to look like. They also do this degree of formatting for the paperback. So if you ever, you can upload just a straight up PDF if your paperback has already been formatted, or you can go through here. So this is an example of what it looks like right now, but they give you all kinds of different options for chapter headings. Let's look at nonfiction. Here's just straight up. Here's kind of a textbook feel. Let's look at all purpose. Here's minimal. So, they do some cool things like, the drop caps for the first word, little images at the start of the chapter. So really you can just play around with this until you find something that kind of matches your feel. I'm kind of a fan of things that are a little bit minimal. I feel like my books about the words, so I don't need something that's like, I don't know, really, really bizarre or strange, but you can find something that's fitting for your style and for your tone. And then, yeah, they do the formatting for like the drop caps, the chapter headings, and things like that. All right, so next we're going to tell them that we're ready to distribute the book. So this is where you set your price. It's fairly important to pay attention so that your prices match the Amazon prices. If you, the biggest trouble you'll get into is if your book is cheaper somewhere else besides Amazon, but really a lot of the retailers want you to have the same price across all of them. Now, when we're just dealing with US dollars, it's really easy to remember the price you set, but we're also dealing with, you know, international currencies and things. So there is going to be a little bit of converting that you'll have to do. So let's say your ebook is $9.99. Here's where you select all the stores you want to send it to. You don't, if you've gone through KDP, you don't select Amazon. Don't select Amazon if your book is already there. And then if you want to be in the subscription services. So these are the direct sales stores. These are where you can allow your books to be in those catalogs for people to pay one price and read your books. So usually how that works is then you just get kind of a percentage. So let's say that your books are inscribed and people pay $10 a month and they can read your book for no extra charge and any other book that's inscribed for no extra charge. And let's say at the end of the month, every single scribed reader has read 1 million pages and 1,000 of them were from you, right? So then they just kind of take 1,000 out of 1 million to figure out what your cut's going to be. So I recommend selecting everything but Amazon. Libraries, again, I think having your books in libraries is one of the smartest things that you can do. It's great for people who use libraries. It's great for libraries. Like if you're somebody who just loves public libraries, the fact that they can now offer ebooks is really, really a useful service. It's keeping libraries very, very relevant. So not only is this just a nice way to make some sales, because they do have to buy your book, but I think it's doing a great community service as well. So they tell you here how you'll get paid. Like each library service, it's slightly different. So in this case, somebody who checks out your book, if you get your book checked out, you'll get 93 cents. In some cases, the library will purchase your book for this one-time fee. And then that's all the money you get, but then the library gets to keep loaning it out to one person at a time. Similarly to a paperback, right? Like a library can buy one of your paperbacks, but it might be read by 200 people. Usually the library price is going to be about double or a little less than double. I like to do maybe about like 150%. So if my ebook is $5, I make the library $8 to $10. In this case, our ebook's $10, so they're suggesting our library price of $19.99. I love the thought of discounting for libraries, but I've heard from librarians that it actually makes them a little bit suspicious. Kind of like if you see a great house on the market for like, you know, $200,000 less than all the houses around it, that makes you wonder like what's wrong with it. So as much as you might love libraries, don't go too low on your price, or you'll actually like the librarians will be like, oh well, I guess this book is, you know, isn't all that great. And then you hit remember. So I'm not going to submit because obviously I don't have an actual book up here, but it's really neat to see all of the stores you're going to get into, all of the different subscription services you're going to get into, the libraries that you can get into. The way royalties is calculated is a tiny bit confusing. So let me pull it up so that I can explain it to you. I'm going to use their language and then I'm going to explain what it means. So because Draft2Digital does take a cut, right? If I were to put my book directly for sale on Kobo and I sold 10 copies versus selling 10 copies to Kobo through Draft2Digital, I'm going to get a little bit less by going through Draft2Digital. So I want to make sure everybody kind of knows the difference, and then we can talk about why I still, in almost every case, still recommend you go just through Draft2Digital. All right. their fee is approximately 10% of the price you set for your book. So that this means most of our stores take about 30%. So Kobo's going to take about 30%. Draft2Digital will take about 10%, and you get about 60%. The long answer is that each store has their own policies and taxes specific to your location, right? So I don't sweat that little bit of difference. Basically, the difference would be significant enough that you might decide to look at going direct to stores. If you're starting to make like $5,000 or more a month just from Draft2Digital, that's when this cut might become annoying for you to have to shell out. But honestly, it's so much, this dashboard is better. Like I have some books where I have gone direct to Barnes & Noble, I've gone direct to Kobo. This dashboard is just so much easier, and it's so nice to have all your books in one place. Come tax time, it means you get a tax form from KDP and you get a tax form from Draft2Digital, and that's it. So I really heartily recommend just go through Draft2Digital. It's so simple. But just, yeah, be aware they're going to take a little bit. There's always going to be a discrepancy between what you make from all these other stores versus Amazon. Most authors who are US based are making the majority of their income from Amazon. So if you get even like 10% of your book sales come from non-Amazon, that's getting pretty well diversified. If you can get up to 30% of your sales coming from non-Amazon, then you've done a very good job branching out into all of these other markets. If you get to where, like I haven't gotten there yet, but if you get to where your income is like only 50% from Amazon, then you are very well protected from having all your eggs in one basket like we talked about. So any questions so far about just kind of the ins and outs of Draft2Digital and how this side of it works? Cool. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in chat and I'll keep my eye on that. So let me see what else. Basically, once you submit this, then Draft2Digital is going to submit to all these stores on your behalf. Over the next week or so, you'll be getting lots of emails to say, congratulations, your book's now available in Kobo. Congratulations, your book's now available in Apple. So it takes, maybe up to a week for it to roll out to all of these stores. And then once you do that, here, let me show you what the books to read links look like. So let me go to my books and I'll show you. So once you've set your books up here, the other thing I really like, Draft2Digital's reporting is a lot more thorough than what you'll get from a lot of the other stores. So that's another reason why I just recommend just going through Draft2Digital. But let me see here where I can find my books to read links. Okay. Here's what the books to read link looks like once you've actually published through Draft2Digital. So it's got your book here, and then it just can show you, any of the stores that people can get it from, and then they can just click to where they want to get it. So this is a nice link to send people to if you're, maybe at the bottom of your email or something where you have a lot of non-Amazon readers and things like that. So that basically covers Draft2Digital. So Melanie, we have a couple of places we can go from here. Like people have specific questions, that's great. We can go back to talking for the last little bit more about like the blurbs, which I know we had started last time, if people wanted blurb feedback. We can also talk about marketing strategies to get sales in these other non-Amazon stores, right? Because I know like we spent a lot of time a couple months ago talking about Amazon ads, which obviously gets you sales on Amazon, but not in these other stores. So where do you want to go next, Melanie?
Well, I think too, it's important to note that sometimes people ask about like the other bestseller list, like USA Today and all that. So it's important to note that if you do want to hit the bestseller list beyond Amazon, you do have to sell books outside of Amazon. You can't just sell thousands of books on Amazon and hit the New York Times or USA Today.
Mhm.
You have to be able to market on other aggregates and be able to get sales in those other categories and the other areas. So, I mean, maybe I think touch on that a little bit, because I know there's a question
Yeah,
that comes up quite a bit of the strategy is different in marketing on these versus just Amazon.
yeah.
And any other
Um,
questions you guys have, jump in. Feel free to jump in. This is for you guys.
Yeah.
My question, back to what you were talking about last week. Originally, I didn't have a subtitle, but you were talking
Right.
about how in order to have people find you. So I did
Mhm.
have an idea for one, which means I'm going to have to change my cover to fit it on. So my book is Samantha Jean's Rainbow Dream. I think I told you what it's about, a young foster girl
Mhm.
who is looking for her a forever family, and she hates fruits and vegetables and says yuck every time she sees one.
Mhm.
So I thought my subtitle could be, and I had tested them out originally when I thought I needed one. Then we decided I didn't, but now I'm thinking I did. So
Okay.
I'm doing, I think, a young foster girl's adventure into the colorful world of fruits and vegetables. So we have
Yeah.
foster and then fruits and
Mhm.
vegetables. Now, does it have to be on the actual front jacket, or can I put it on the title page inside? Because we're going to have to redo my
Yeah.
cover. So that's my initial
Yeah.
question.
Let me tell you the kind of legit answer, then I'll tell you what I would do. Technically, yeah, technically it's supposed to be on the cover. What I would do, to be totally honest, is I would submit it with the cover you've got and the subtitle you came up with. Put it on the title page, that'll help. And then at some point within the first year, Amazon might send you an email that says, we notice your subtitle and cover don't match. And then at that point, you can decide if you just want to get rid of the subtitle or go through the hassle of adding it to the cover.
Well, okay. I mean, I spoke to my illustrator today and I gave her a heads up. So we will try to do, but that's a mouthful that I have on my,
Yeah.
but we'll see what we can do, because I do
Yeah.
like the idea for it to, for it to be
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
And then I have a blurb and stuff. Is there any way I can send it to you to look at?
Yeah. Do you want to even just put it right in chat? That's probably the easiest.
How to like write out the whole thing, or can I send you a photograph of my page that I wrote out for my
Let's
media
see.
kit?
If you've
Is there a
got
way
a
to do that?
photograph, let's see if there's a way.
Or if you just give me your email, I can send this.
Sure. Coach@alanaterry.com. I just put it in chat. So yeah, if you want to send it,
I'm
then
sorry.
we can pull it up.
All right, let me go to the chat again. So, okay,
Okay.
coach@alanaterry.com. Okay. It'll take me a minute, I'm sure, to get
Okay.
it out there.
While we're waiting on that, for people who are interested, I can talk for just a minute or two about the USA Today bestseller list, since that is a goal for a lot of authors. The real quick lowdown of what you need to know is the sales are counted from Monday through Sunday. And so you want to get all of your sales focused into that week. It also means that if you are launching a brand new book to try to hit the bestseller list, you want your book to release on a Tuesday. Because that way all of the pre-orders that you accumulate will count as sales for Monday. Only US sales count, so it doesn't really matter, how many people from Amazon.co UK purchase your book and things like that. So it's just US sales. And the numbers, it's going to be about, obviously it depends on what other books are being sold that week. But to get a decent chance, you want to have over 3,000 Amazon sales that week and over 300-ish sales in at least one of the other main retailers. So Apple, Nook, Kobo, those tends to be the other stores that people focus on. That's hitting the USA Today list in a nutshell. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's 5,000 or 6,000 on Amazon, and 400 to 600 in at least one of the other stores. All right, let me know when you've sent that.
Oh, I did send it. Did it
Okay.
not go?
I'm refreshing. It's not here yet, but it might take a minute or two.
Let's make sure I wrote the right. No good?
It's not here yet, but sometimes, yes, sometimes if there's an
Okay, let me
attachment,
just,
it
so
takes a
you
little
said
bit of time.
coach, just coach@alanaterry.com.
Correct.
Make sure I spelled your name right. I write it every day, ALANA, right? All right, let me try it one more time.
Alrighty. You probably also have Melanie's email, so you can send it to her too, and it can be just a race between which of us gets it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can forward it to you, Alana, or I can pull it up and share it on my screen too.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, I'm
let's see.
still not seeing it. I'll just check my other
Can I
folders
ask a
real quick.
quick
Okay, no,
question?
it came through spam. I found it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. And
Alright.
I'm changing the end of it. Actually, maybe you can help me with this if I'm not. So I was thinking at the end, I was going to ask people, now that you've read the book, join Samantha Jean's club, her Eat the Rainbow Club or something like that. I wrote it down. Now I've totally lost what I was going to say.
Right.
Now I'm
right.
not sure whether I send them to like, do I do a Facebook page or
Best
and then
is
I'm asking
usually a
them
newsletter sign up. That tends to be the best option.
a
If you wanted
newsletter.
something at the end, yeah. Maybe it's if you do anything with recipes, that would be pretty cool. Sign up here to get 5 colorful recipes that kids love or something.
And I would love to have an active thing, like, how are they doing with the Eat the Rainbow Challenge and all kinds of things like that. So I still haven't figured, and maybe I saw that Leah did this great workbook with hers. And I don't know if Leah did Canva or what, but I'm thinking maybe I'll do something short like that with my Yum to Yum meter that I've written in that. So I have all these ideas.
No, those are great. Any kind of printable, right? Like a meter where kids can mark off how many fruits they ate.
Well, I
each
have
day and
all of
what
that.
color. Yeah.
Right, that's all in there, but I just don't know how to actually get it to them yet. So anyway, but I'll let you look at my blurb and then that'll be my next problem to solve.
All right. Will young Samantha Jean finally find the forever family she's been dreaming of, or will her habit of blurting out yuck every time she sees a fruit or vegetable get in the way? Both fruit and veggie lovers and haters alike will have fun following Samantha as her new foster parents invent ways to help her learn to like roots and veggies. Come cheer her on as she tries to win the 30-day Eat the Rainbow Challenge. Better yet, adults and kiddos, why not team up and play along? I like that. Fill out your very own fruit and veggie yucca-meter and check out. Okay, I probably wouldn't. I'm not sure that I'd mention this last part. I feel like. Let me think on that. Let me tell you the one concern.
Okay. Because the book has a yucca meter, she shows the yucca meter in the book, and also her bands, which I finished eating and mine are off now. But but all of that is in the book. So I thought I'd send people to get their own as well, but I haven't figured out exactly how.
Okay, so my husband actually used to work licensing foster families. And I know they're really careful about the language they use. And the one thing that concerns me about the very opening is it sounds as though, because like foster kids have such a hard time feeling that they need to earn love and acceptance anyway. I think that a critical eye would look at this and say, oh, she's not going to be loved until she learns to eat her fruits and veggies, which obviously goes against what a loving parent figure is going to actually believe.
Right.
So I I would
Okay.
see, do you get what I'm saying?
I absolutely get what you're saying. And I just want to tell you that this is based on my friend's now is her adopted daughter, who's, you know,
Yeah.
in her 20s now.
Mhm.
And this is, so when Samantha goes there, that's exactly what she's thinking. I want them to like me so much. Oh boy, did I just ruin it? And then her new are so kind to her that they just explain, you know,
Yeah.
like trying to get her to eat it and understand what,
Mhm.
to try and understand what it does for your body instead of,
Yeah.
oh, just do this. So it's really
Right.
what the nutritionists and dietitians are trying to get to kids to do so they don't have eating disorders. So, but I
Yeah.
totally understand what you're saying about that.
It's just something I would think of. I think there's a way that you could still keep the gist of it, right? Like
Mhm.
even if I, as the potential buyer, knew that her concern is a little kid concern and not the real concern, right?
Mhm.
Because that is what she would think. But obviously I wouldn't want to buy the book for a foster kid. if I'm
Totally get
worried
it.
that-
Thank
yeah.
you. Right. So
Yeah.
I will fix the, you know.
Yeah, I think
fix
I think just a small tweak here and there could for sure fix that. Okay, so fruit and veggie lovers and haters alike will have fun following Samantha as her new foster parents and ways to help her learn to like fruits and vegetables. I would add, just pack the second half of that sentence with even more positivity. Her great new foster parents, her funny new foster parents, her loving or accepting foster
Mhm.
parents.
Okay. So an adjective in there that describes
Yeah.
it. Uh-huh.
And then instead of like help to learn, maybe even, again, like let's make it sound a tiny bit more fun. So they, you know, introduce her to an adventure of rainbow eating, you know, like something that's a little bit more kid lingo, a little bit more upbeat and enthusiastic. I think that
Okay.
would really help. I like that you mentioned this is for people who already like their fruits and vegetables or for people who dislike them now.
Mhm.
Come cheer her on as she tries to win the 30-day Eat the Rainbow Challenge. I like that. And then I like, better yet, why not team up and play along? Yeah, I still would recommend changing this last one because I feel like these bonuses that you're mentioning, these are the bonuses. I think people are going to buy the book because they want the book. I don't think they're going to be buying the book specifically for the bonuses. So I would still focus on the book itself and let the bonuses just kind of be like a nice surprise. So I would end it more with, you know, grab this book that's delighting parents and nutritionists and teachers, you know,
Okay.
and that's, you know, really, because at that point, that's when you're appealing to the person who's holding the credit card, which are the, you know,
Right.
the nutritionists and librarians and parents and
Uh-huh.
teachers. And then again, the end, this call to action is where you get to pack in just a couple more adjectives. Is it funny, whimsical, quirky, adventurous? Like give us the feeling kind of words. Like, is this a sweet story? Is this a funny story? Is this a inspiring story? Is this a goofy story? Right? Like pack a couple of those words in.
I'm not sure where it fits in, but yes, I understand.
So that we
where
get
you're
a
going.
little bit more of the tone. And yeah, just
Uh-huh.
I would just remember by the end is when that's where you're talking specifically to the man or woman with the credit card.
Mhm. Okay, great. Thank you so
no,
much.
I think it's great. It sounds really cute and sweet.
Okay. All right. So I just have to figure that, you know, that her being accepted is determined by whether she likes it. I need to tweak that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the
Yeah.
back. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations. It sounds like it's going to be a great one.
Hope so.
Yeah, but I think having the subtitle will help because even just looking at the cover, I don't know, is this a story about a painter? I mean, if I look closely, I think I see like bananas and stuff, but remember, like people are looking on phones, it's real small.
Right.
So I think the subtitle is going to really help so that we know exactly.
I told Alessio that we could make our names much smaller, you know, the author and the illustrator much smaller, and somehow
just make it really small at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, even the subtitle just needs to be there so that you can put the subtitle Kindle
Mhm,
page.
yeah,
So,
maybe
even
very
that tiny little white spot at the very, very bottom and itty bitty, because I think that will help to have it at least on your sales page, because that will really help. Like, is this, like I said, is this about a rainbow? Is this about somebody who wants to figure out where like light spectrums come from? It'll help based on the subtitle for people to get what this
Right,
is.
yeah, because you can't see that rainbow is fruits and vegetables,
Yeah,
right?
you can't see it super well.
No.
So
Yes, I got it. Okay,
yep,
thank you.
awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're toward the end. Is this a good place to wrap up, Melanie?
Yes.
Anything else that you wanted to go over?
I was just looking at Leah's question. I had misread it initially. Leah, you were mentioning that you had mentioned that, I thought you said that some people were trying to download only a sample and couldn't. And I think sometimes those settings are set up with, if you do Kindle Unlimited, then it prohibits you from being able to sell it in other locations. But you were saying that some people can't buy the book, only download a sample, which is odd. So they may not be using the right link for their correct country. If you're using the US link and they're in a different country, then they would have to use their country's link. So they can either search for it in your name or your book's name to be able to find it.
They sent me a screenshot and they're in their actual Amazon account. I'm just gonna see what it says because I'm not sure how to respond to them.
I'll pull up mine too. Let's just see real quick. It's
I
the
had
dirty
2
glasses
people,
one.
2 or 3 people. Yeah, that's the one. Or is
Okay,
it?
no, I'm able to buy it. So that's good news at
This
least.
is in Canada. So when she tries to, she gets the sample, but it says it's not supported. It says this app does not support purchasing. Book purchases from Amazon are available to read in the Kindle app. So does that mean they have to go to the browser Amazon, that they can't buy it from their phone app? Like I just don't. I've never had that. So, but I've had
Sounds
2 or
like
3
you might have to have have downloaded the Kindle app so you can read it on your phone or your computer.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I mean, I
did do
had for the
that.
very
But-
first book I bought from them, that's what I had to do.
Yeah, so they have the app. They downloaded the sample, read the sample, but then they couldn't get the rest of the book, and it said it wasn't supported. Something about Kindle, and I've never come across that, but I've had 2 or 3 people tell me.
Let me look it on my phone real quick too. It looks like it's on the
that was in
browser.
Canada? Leah, was that?
Yeah, it's in Canada. Yeah.
Just in Canada. I would call Amazon, because if you go into your KDP and go to contact us, then because you're set up in Canada, when you contact them as you directly, then you can usually ask those kind of questions. Because there may be something set on it in Canada that we're not seeing on our end, or it may be if they're downloading it. Yeah, it may be depending on the what type of e-reader they have, if they're downloading it into Kindle or something.
I'm seeing at least the button to buy it from here. So yeah, I would do the same. I would tell them at the very least try from the browser, and
are they trying to buy
and
from
make sure that they're buying from the CA, right? Amazon.ca.
Yeah, so it's their own account where they always buy their stuff. So
that's
they
so
search
weird
it on there, like yeah, I was surprised at that. I've never had that, so I just thought it was that.
Yeah, no, that's not one I've heard of either. I would also, in addition to getting in touch with KDP, maybe ask them if they've tried from their browser and if they're still having problems. That would be the other thing I would check with.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, and I would also try the link. I know there's the single link that I sent you, Leah, that has like, I'm going to put it in the chat here. This is like just the one single link that you can send people to, and they can click on the flag in their country, like depending on if you give people this link, So this
Yeah,
is,
that's the one I put in my landing page and emails.
yeah. So if you click on that and it'll open it up and it'll open it up and then you can see how it has like the different countries and everything that you can buy. They just need to make sure they're clicking on Canada and not one of the other countries, and they should be able to buy it. Because like if I click on Canada, I can't purchase it, right?
Okay.
Because it's basically like I don't have a Canadian account.
Okay. I know you said about international bestseller, but I lost the review that I had from the States. Does that still count?
Yeah, so if your review is in Canada, then it's going to show in Canada. If it's in English, it's going to show wherever that person put the review. So if you have American, like, let me do this real quick. Let me show you. I'm going to share my screen real fast. And Alana, if you need to jump off, I totally understand that.
Sounds good. I'm gonna take off and talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
No worries. Thank you so much for everything. And I know Trish just jumped on. Congrats, Trish, to you as well.
Congrats.
And you can watch the replay if you missed some of this, but this is, so just a real quick, let me go back and recap this. So this is the Canadian, I just want to show you this. This is the Canadian link. And you can tell at the top because it says CA instead of .com. Let me see if you can see it here on my screen. I've got so much stuff in the way here. So you can see the little Canadian flag right here, right?
Okay.
And so this one, if you scroll down, this is what it looks like from Canada. So right now, she's #1 on the bestseller list. Ta-da! In Canada.
Yay.
Still, you're holding steady. Now, these things reset all the time. So it's really, like, this is what tells you that you've had consistent sales, because somebody can hit it and maybe just hit #1 for like an hour and then it resets. And so like the fact that you've been staying and holding steady in that space is really good. So, so then what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to turn about just a little bit so you can see it better. And then I'm going to screenshot this so you have it. But yeah, this is how you can track this stuff yourself as well. So if you click on it again, you go back to, then you have that nice little tag here, #1 bestseller. So when you scroll down, you can also see that you're also #2 in, you've got different categories.
Okay.
So you're #2 in this category, which is kind of cool. And so that is the Canadian link, right? So when I go back to this little thing here, and I go to this is the link up here. If I go to the US, because my account is in the US, then I can see where you are in the US as well. And so let's see if you're, yeah, so it's already dropped a little bit in the US. Now you're in 34, and there's different categories because they're only going to show 3, but there's like 8 different categories. So we have screen software that tries to capture those, because sometimes you might be looking at it and not even see it because it changes, the algorithms change based on your sales. So for that one, this is how it's showing in the US on my account. So if I wanted to purchase it for myself, I can purchase for others. If you want to buy multiple copies, you have this drop down here. So you can buy like 15 copies or whatever. Then you click buy for others or buy for me, send a free sample. So it's fully open on this side.
Can I do that from Canada? Like if I have an Amazon account on .com.
So if you have a US account, you might be able to, like, for example, if I were to buy these 15 right now, okay, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So I will hit buy for others. Okay. It goes back into my account, and then it's going to give me my order number. It's going to have me choose. I'm just going to go through this so you can see what happens. So I'm going to choose my payment method. And then place your order. Okay, so now it's going to come here. Okay, to manage your ebooks, go to your digital orders, right? So I have right here, manage ebooks. So if you click on that, then it's going to give you a link. So what you do is this. Now, if you're going to copy this link, right now, I've got what, 7 here or whatever in that I can send to somebody. I'm going to copy the
Mhm.
link. I'm going to go put it in the chat just so you guys can see it. And then Leah, if you're in Canada, oops, then you may not be able to redeem the link. I have to stop sharing it.
Oh, okay.
So let me try this. So I'm going to put it in here. And this is the message that it gets. When you hit that copy, then you can cut and paste and you can email that to different people. So I sometimes will put them in an Excel spreadsheet. That way I can track if somebody's redeemed it or not. And so the idea is if you're gonna do it, you can do it in the US, you can buy a copy and you can send it to somebody else in the US. If you
Yeah,
have
it says
a
this,
US account, you might be able to do that.
it says this book cannot be redeemed, and then it says if I want to get a book, and do that, I have to buy from.ca.
Yep.
So-
So, but if
Okay.
somebody else, if someone else in the US clicks on that, AJ, will you click on that link in the chat? If
Sure. Where is it? Hold on. I don't, oh, in the chat. Okay,
yeah,
hold
if
on.
you click on it in the chat, use the
So
link.
if,
But the prepaid one?
Yeah, use the link that says prepaid.
Okay. Okay, accept and sign in, it says.
So there you go. And then that way you're going to be able to receive a copy of her book. So it was bought in the US and sent to somebody with a US account.
Right.
okay.
Yeah. Now I bought the book today, I think. I bought it. Yeah. No, I bought it yesterday, I think, because I started reading it. I can't wait to go back to
Yeah.
read some more.
So now you can download it and it'll go into your Kindle or your reader, e-reader and all that kind of stuff. So that's just how you send it to somebody. Now, if you're in a different country, you may not be able to buy multiple copies, but somebody else can buy multiple copies, I believe. Like if they, because
Okay.
I'm not in, like, if you look at your Canadian account, you might be able, like, because it's your book, you may not be able to, but other people may be able to buy 10 copies and send them out.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, say if I ask, Trish or AJ, can you guys buy me these books, whatever, and send it to here? Is that what you mean?
You know what?
Like,
I think Sharon had told us that you weren't able to send them out of the country. I thought, or maybe it was just Israel, but I do remember Sharon speaking about on that subject about
For the
not.
ebooks, yeah, for print, it just depends on the country. Like, so if you're in Israel, for example, Israel's tied into the US for her account, so it would be under a .com for Amazon. But
Okay.
other countries have different parameters. And so like your ebook is going to be in a certain area. Let me see if I can show you guys really quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not COVID.
Yeah, bless you if that was a sneeze.
Oh, no. Oops, I keep trying to accidentally shut down this meeting. Okay, so let me show you real quickly. I have this book pulled up. Go back here. So I just wondered, so if I bought your book, Leah, if I bought your book in the US, I can buy multiple copies and send them to other people. But if
Yeah.
somebody in Canada tries to do it, I don't know if they can buy multiple copies or if
no,
they can't redeem them.
we don't have that option. When I go to Amazon, or at someone else's account, it doesn't give me the option to buy, to send. And
Okay, yeah. So in other countries, I think it's the same. It just has to be the US. So let me show you real quickly. This is behind the scenes.
minutes, babe.
This is behind the scenes of KDP account. This is my dad's account. I was in there. So when your ebook is live, this is what it looks like. When your paperback is live, this is what it looks like. And so right now, his these are all the countries that people can buy his ebook in.
Okay.
Excuse me. Once you go to print, these are the only countries you can buy, and Australia is new.
Okay.
So if somebody's in a different country, they may not be able to order from Amazon on print. That doesn't mean they can't get a copy, because as we just showed you, there's other aggregate publishers out there that do publish in other countries. So if you go to Draft2Digital, you're going to find there's a lot more countries and places for people to buy. Amazon is somewhat restricted because Amazon does print on demand, right? So they actually print and store your book and then put it in a warehouse where if somebody's ordering it, like if you're buying a case of books, they will literally print them and ship them in a few days. But you don't have to print like thousands of copies. You just can print on demand.
Okay.
And so that's where that is. And then like, let's say you guys want to change your pricing. So now that your book is out, you just click on over here, right? And you click on edit ebook pricing.
Okay.
And then those three little dots, that's where you make your changes. So you can click on that and then it'll pop up. You make the change to the price that you want. I usually, like I said, make sure your pricing is going to match here the same way it's going to match in Draft2Digital. No one wants to sell your book over there for less money if it's going to be more on Amazon or vice versa. So just make sure if you change your pricing here, you change it everywhere once you guys get it up. So this is why we say when you market your book, right now, the only reason we're on Amazon is because we're going for the bestseller ranking so that you can use the bestseller status to sell your books in other markets. So when you are putting your tags, I wouldn't say Amazon bestseller. I would put, bestseller or international bestseller tag and leave it generic, because the other aggregates, if you say Amazon, they may not publish your book. They don't want Amazon anywhere in your book or on your book because that's their competitor. So we've had actually run into that in the past. We've had to reformat a cover or the interior because of that. And it used to not be like that, but they've gotten much more competitive. So you see right now, this royalty is on 35. When you change the price, so for this one, this is an ebook. I'm going to actually raise the price up to $6.99 for this ebook. Just because I know like he doesn't want it to be that much higher. And then it's going to change your royalty to 70%. So that means that if someone pays $6.99 for the book, you're going to end up making $4.86. If you change the price to 99 cents, watch what happens. It would like automatically has you change the royalty. Oops, I put $99. So that's the thing. If you see how it says it must be $99 to $200, like you wouldn't have an ebook over $200, but you see how it also changes in all these other countries as well. So this is where you go in and change your pricing. So if you want to make it 70%, that turns red because you have to sell it for at least $2.99. So when we launch, we drop it down to 99 cents because your bestseller ranking is going to be based on units sold. So I'm going to put it at $7 or $6.99. I'm going to make sure it's at 70% royalty. All territories. This is the area like KDP Select. This is where a lot of people do this, which I don't really approve of it. I think it's like cheating, where they'll say, oh, I released my book for free. I'm a best-selling author from free books because 100 people got my free book. I don't think like if you're a bestseller, it means you sold copies of your book and people are actually buying your book. To me, that's more credible. And so some people do offer their books for free, and this is something once you set this up, you can't undo it. And so we don't allow this part, like we don't set it up this way, because if you do, then it means you can't sell your book outside of Amazon either. That's how they get you. So just a couple of little things in the background there. So once you actually do that, you hit publish. And so this is for those of you that have launched. These are little things that you want to do in the next few days. Like now, after today, now that your book is no longer in launch, then you want to raise your price back up. And you can choose whatever price you want for your ebook. It's up to you. We usually say keep it under $10, like $9.95 or less, because you still have a lot more people that are likely to buy it if it's under $10. And then you'll notice it says live updates and review. So they'll review the updates that we made and then it'll go live. So if somebody were to go order it right now on Amazon, so let me go back here to this one. It may not show with that new price. So if I go to Amazon, US. Yeah, it's still showing as 99 cents, even though I just changed it, right? Because it's still, the reviews are, the updates are in review. So anytime you go in and you make a change to your manuscript, your cover, or any of that, just know that it's going to get delayed for a little bit of time. So if you're planning your launch, you don't want to go in and be making changes at the last minute unless there's some issue that you want to adjust. Make sense? So, okay, so this recording will be available in a little bit. I'll put it in our messenger chat, so you guys will have it. Bye, honey. And so that way I know, like Trish, you came in a little bit late. I would recommend when you guys watch this back, watch it on your phone and then open up your computer and do the work while you watch it back. Okay.
Melody, can I ask a question I missed earlier? When I submit the book to you guys, does it have to be all edited, all polished up and everything?
So when you give us your rough draft, what the main thing is, we want to make sure that you've had all your art team and other people reading it. So as you're in the process, if you're on social media, and you should all be posting, I'm publishing my book and I want to give away 50 free copies. Who wants a copy? And you'd be shocked how many people say, I want a copy. I want a copy. So you get all their contact info, you private message them, you start an Excel document. If you have a CRM, you can put them in there in an email list and tag them as your ARC team. Just keep a track of them somewhere. And then what happens as your book starts to come to fruition and you get your rough draft, you want them to read it and give you feedback. And you want them to actually give you a review for your book. So and they're going to commit to being part of your team. So you say, I'll give you a free copy of my book in exchange for your honest review. And that's a very ethical way to say it, because you're not buying the review. You're not making them feel obligated. They're giving you their feedback. And then what happens is, before your book's finished, they're going to read it, give you the review, ask them to send you the review. And so you keep track of all of those, and you might have 50 different reviews. Bye, Leah. Thanks for being here. So you might have 50 different reviews that are ready to post. So by the time your book launches, now you've got these reviews already lined up. And then you go back and say, will you please post this review on Amazon? If they don't post it, you have it, and you can go in and post it as an editorial review on your own site.
I see. Okay.
So
Thank you.
that's how you get a lot more reviews, but you have to basically herd those cats, and you got to track them and know that, like you're saying, look, I'm giving you my free copy, blood, sweat, and tears. And in exchange for the free copy, I just ask for an honest review. Now, we have a long list of people who want free copies of books. You know what I mean? And so we can sometimes run that and help you find those people. Otherwise, if you do it on your own, then you have control over those leads. And a lot of times those people that love your book or excited about it may become your client. And so they could even become a testimonial in your book. And I'm talking about the nonfiction, not yours, AJ. With yours, believe it or not, AJ, yours is so much easier for people who just want a free copy. Like you can get so many reviews from teachers and other people who want a free copy. And the thing is, when you say you want a free copy, doesn't mean you're like committing to giving them a hard copy where you have a hard cost. You can give them an ebook. You can give them a PDF. Like they're just giving you their feedback about the book in exchange for a free copy. And now some people may flake on you. Not everybody's gonna follow through like they say they will. But it's amazing how many people will step out of the woodwork and read your book and give you feedback just because they're so excited to know a real author, and they get invested in your journey, right? Because this isn't a normal thing for everybody who's 9 to 5 and their lives are like pretty boring. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is the most exciting thing that happened all day. AJ's writing a book. She's an author, right? So like you will get so much support from people on your social media platforms. You could put this on LinkedIn. You could put it on your professional Facebook page, your business page.
I don't have any of those though, but I can get to tip, but I would have to have the illustrations already done, and
You
it would
don't
have.
have to have that yet, AJ. So focus on what you do have. Like right now, I know you found us through like the P&L and Dean and Tony.
Mhm.
You can go on, like Kat today posted something about her journey and how I didn't even know she wrote her book in 4 days.
Yeah,
right?
that was interesting. Yeah.
And so many people went, what? How did you do that? So it intrigued them enough to reach out to her. And
Mhm.
now they're asking her about her process, right? And in the meantime, she's building that relationship with them. So even if you post it in someone else's group, you're not posting a link. You're just saying, hey, you can post a little like meme or something, or just like even on Facebook, they have the ones that with the, solid background that you just
Right.
say,
I've done it.
I'm an author. I'm giving away 50 free copies of my book. Who wants a copy? If you literally just post that, you will get so many responses from people.
Okay.
They're curious. And
Mhm.
then you private message them and you get their contact info, and as your book is evolved, like once you get ready to launch and your book is going through editing, it doesn't even have to be final. You just tell them this is a rough draft. Love to get your feedback, and you might tweak it based on some of that feedback. If 25 people tell you this was confusing,
Mhm.
then you need to go back and tweak that a little bit better and make it more clear,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So hopefully that answered your question, Rick.
Yes, it did. So when you post something on Facebook, how much of your book do you post? Do you post a lot, or do you post just a little bit? Or
I would just post like a few sentences. Like if you're doing something and you're writing it and you go, ooh, that was good, then you just go and you post it and say, this is an excerpt from my upcoming book. And then it hooks people. They get excited, like, wow, that's great. And like something that resonates with you, that you think that your readers might respond to, that's going to kind of talk about a little bit about the book. So you don't want to put really long stuff. Any social media post, you want to keep it short and sweet anyways. But like examples are testing your titles. Hey, you guys, I need to pick a title, and give them like 3 titles and 3 subtitles and let them choose 1, 2, or 3, that all they have to do is vote number 2, number 3, or they can change it up. And just know that you're getting a lot of feedback from people, and you might get some conflicting feedback. But then once you get that, you finalize your title, and it's a collaborative thing. Then when your title is final, then you start working on your cover. And then we do a cover contest, and you pick like your top 6. You're going to get 40 to 50 different designs usually, and people competing for this cover contest. So then you pick the 6 that you like, you put them all on one little like sheet or whatever, like one place, and then same thing, number them 1 to 6. And you can do that in Canva, you can do it in PowerPoint. You drop the covers in, you put a number on them, and then you do that as a screenshot and you ask people to vote. Okay, which one do you like the best? And again, people are like, oh, I love this one. And you could say, I'm going to give away free copies, like in the beginning when you're just writing it. You could do it right before you're about to launch if you want. But that's just another strategy for getting reviews. You could do it now that your book's out, and if your goal was to hit bestseller and you've already done that, like Trish and them and Leah and Kat, then you could actually start giving away copies of your book as a lead magnet, right? You can put it on your website. You can create an email campaign. Hey, thank you for making my book #1 bestseller. If you want a free copy, respond to this email or give me your email and I'll give you a free copy.
Okay, so basically the process on Facebook is basically to get a review or part of editing the book.
Yeah, Facebook is promoting. You want to promote it on Facebook, and you want to go into groups. Like if for example, if you're targeting artists,
Yeah.
people who want to be artists, you go into artist groups and say, hey, I'm writing this book about my experience as an artist and making a living as an artist. I'd love to get your feedback. You might even find people that want to be interviewed in your book, or that may have something amazing to contribute. Maybe they even want to write a bonus chapter, like we talked about, somebody that is that has art supplies, right? Like Allards, or like even a national company that would say, hey, can we promote inside your book? Because everybody in your book is going to need our supplies. So maybe they become a sponsor and they get a little ad in the back of your book. And you basically have them do an ad for buying 100 copies of the book that they're going to sell in their store.
All right, one more question. I'll let everyone talk. But when that happened, when we send it to you guys, what does editing mean when you edit a book? What do you guys do as an editor?
So when we first start working with somebody, we might review their outlines, and then we basically have an editor that comes in. Basically, it's your book, it's your words. You have this concept of what you've done, and you send it in to us, and you have your art team also reading it. So by the time you get to the final draft, you have this collaborative effort. It's not just one person's opinion about this is a great book. You're getting feedback from people, and you're kind of taking in those things and adjusting them and tweaking it. Then by the time it gets to us, now it goes through an editorial process where our editor will take a full pass at it. They'll read everything, they'll put in their notes, they'll fix things. They'll make sure the format and the style guides are Chicago style, things like that. And make sure as you guys are writing your book that you remember at the end of a sentence, you don't skip 2 or 3 spaces, you skip 1. That's the AP style, or what we actually Chicago style format that we use for all of our books. And that's pretty universal in the nonfiction book world. There's different styles and guidelines that people use, but we go with Chicago, which is pretty universal. So when we were in school, they taught us always skip 2 spaces after the typewriter, but since computer age, now it's 1 space because it's too big of a space in between.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Melanie.
If you skip 2 spaces, you're going to drive your formatter crazy because they have to go through your entire book and redo everything. So make sure you guys, you don't have to design it. You don't have to do your chapter headings. You get to choose when. So what happens is you'll come in and edit, get everything final and edit. Then you'll go into formatting. Once your book is done and we're not rewriting it, then and only then when it's signed off, we go to formatting. Then we go into formatting, which is, here's your chapter headers. These are the styles. This is the type of font you want to use. This is the look and feel and tone that you want your book to have. It's based on, here's my cover. Here's what the inside font should be like. Some of you may have a very strong vision for that. Some of you may have charts and graphs. Remember, your inside is going to be black and white. So you don't want to have these really complex, charts and pictures and things unless they're going to look good on a grayscale, meaning they're going to be gray or black and white. They're not going to be color. So in the ebook, they can be color, but when you go to print, they're going to be gray because it's cheaper to have your interior black and white than color. You can print color, but it will cost you more. So if you're printing an art book, that's something to think about because your print cost of the book might be higher.
That's good to know.
But it's not going to be that much higher. Like, Angel and Terry's cookbook was 8.5 by 11. It was almost 200 pages. It was a ginormous book with really big files. That kind of book will not sell for 99 cents because the files are so large. There's too many digital files and links and things in a book that size. So then with print, it might cost you $7 a book versus $3 a book, right? If you're printing in color.
Okay.
So just something to think about. Ideally, you want to keep your book around 100 pages and 8 to 10 chapters, and then 8 to 10 pages per chapter. And that's going to be about 1.5 hours for someone to read it. And if it's more photo driven, then you're going to have, you have to have a certain photo resolution, usually 300 DPI for print on your photos. So if you have like pings or screenshots, they're going to be blurry. They're not going to look good in the print form. So those are things we look for in formatting that we can go back and correct. And then you'll get a copy of your book to review and look at as an EPUB file. So you can actually download it into your reader as if you bought it and flip through it and make sure everything's, good. And then for print, you're going to get a PDF and it'll be your whole full layout of the book. And you can really easily look at that as just pull it up on your computer and see if there's any gaps or spacing issues, anything you want to change, the dynamics of it. And that's it. So usually editing is a good 7 to 10 days. Formatting is a good 7 to 10 days. So, if you're done with your book, you're probably 3 weeks away from being able to launch. Just so you have a timeline.
Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I know we ran a little over, so out of respect for your time, I'm going to hop off now, but I just wanted to say again, congrats to Trish. Did you have any questions before we jump off?
Yeah, I'm sorry I was so late. I got called into work and had to go put out some fires. But anyways, I
That's
just
okay.
have a couple quick questions. So you're recommending that we don't upload our book to to digital to, I can't remember, until we change the price in Amazon too?
Right. You want to
Okay.
make sure the pricing matches. So right now, as of today, you're at 99 cents. So if you want to go in and log in, you can change your price, or you can ask Micah. And Micah can also help with the uploading and these kind of things. But for the most part, we want you to not be dependent on us, because if you need to make a change in the middle of the night, we don't want you to have to panic like, oh my gosh, I have to change this. We want you to know how to do it on your own, but we're here to support you if you need help with it. It is
Yes,
really pretty simple.
I did go into the KDP page and I saw how to do that, but that was my question. Like, should I wait to change to upload my book to the digital
I
one?
would do it tomorrow, because then you can go back and change your Amazon pricing. Since
Okay.
your launch was today, then we honored that price today for the launch. And that way, if people are watching the replay, because we had I think we ended up with about 400 or 500 people that watched the launch today, which was great. So I appreciate you guys who also showed up. I know AJ, you were there and made some great comments, and thank you for that support. And so a lot of people may come back and watch it later if they didn't see the live event. And so we usually honor that for 24 hours. So anytime after 9 a.m. tomorrow, you can go back and change your price on the ebook and upload your pricing once you figure out what you want to charge for it. And there's really no rhyme or reason. You can look at what other grief books are going for.
Mhm.
But remember, what Alana talks about tonight is you don't want to do it so cheap that the librarians and other people go, what's wrong with this book? Why is it so cheap? Like that person doesn't believe in their own book. If you're a #1 bestseller, you guys have to start claiming that crown. Just like if you're Miss America, you're going to walk around a few times in the bathroom and look in the mirror and see that crown on your head. And I would be sleeping with that crown on my head that whole night, that first night, right? I'd never take it off. So the idea is you've got to receive this honor because you worked extremely hard, and it feels very surreal, I'm sure. And almost a little, I remember feeling, I get like post-party syndrome. Like, I'm like, yay. And then it comes out and you're like, oh, now what do I do? Now I got to write another book to get that high all over again.
Yeah. And then I just have, so I noticed on that digital website that it said something about when you upload your EPUB that it had to have like a #1 bestseller sticker on there. And
On the, oh yes, on the EPUB. Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So for all of you that just launched, we have the sticker that we can change your cover. So we can want to change your cover on Amazon and make sure you have that new cover to upload to the other sites as well. But just make sure the sticker doesn't say Amazon #1 bestseller, because it might prevent you from selling it on Barnes and Noble and other platforms.
oh, okay. So where do I get
So email support@mydefiningmoments.com
okay.
and let Micah know that that we need Jasmine to work on that. So she'll knock those out for you guys. And for whatever reason, I was thinking they were already there. They might have already designed it and uploaded it. It just may not be in Amazon yet.
Okay. And then I just wanted to, oh shoot, I had one more question too that I couldn't find in our trainings. Crap, Well, if I think of it, I'll
I have
email
one last question,
Okay,
Melanie.
and real quick, just to remind you guys, come on Saturday because you all have a free ticket. This is almost $1,000 workshop. If we were going to be in person, we'd have to be charging that much for our time and for all of the stuff you're going to get, because so many of you are in different stages that I want to do these deep dives where we just take a day and we implement some of these things. So for those of you that are in process, you're going to get your pieces done. So come and be prepared to work and get the stuff knocked out. So by the end of the day, you're going to have all these pieces that you need to get your book done besides your manuscript, right? And then at the same time, we're like I mentioned, it's free for you guys. So all of you should be receiving that email with all the information on it and how to log in. If you have any trouble with that, please let us know. Otherwise, that email, it probably wouldn't be going out today because the event's not for a few days, but maybe by Thursday you'll get it. So you won't have to pay to come into the event. That should answer a lot of these questions on the marketing side. So even if you've already launched your book and you are wondering, how do I market it? Now, just imagine when you upload it on these other sites, you're automatically going to be able to market to many more people, right? If you can get that one link, and imagine putting that link in your signature on your email. And every time you send out an email, there's your book cover and all these things. I recommend you guys do that. I know Tanya McCready put the winter dog sled racing, thing in her tagline, and my CPA saw it when I sent him something, and he saw her tagline and went, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. I want to go to Canada and do dog sledding." I'm like, "You do?" And he would have never known what she did if it wasn't in her signature. And now this is like his bucket list. He won't shut up about it. He still talks about it. I can't wait for them to be able to open up and be able to go to Canada, and do dog sledding. So you never know who's going to see it and be inspired by what you do and buy your book or take your course. So for those of you that are working on that, developing it, make sure you own it. Change your signature because you changed your story overnight. Now you're #1 best-selling authors, and you've got to wear it with pride and own it. And you'll notice the difference in how people receive you and when you walk in the room now. So no one can ever take that title away from you ever. So congrats to all of you.
Yes. Thank you, Melanie.
All right.
One question. When you write something font size, what size do you use? 12?
Good
11?
question. You want to, with your books, when you're writing all of these, and if you want to, you can make your headers bigger fonts. We can always adjust that. But you want to use at least 12 or 14 font. And we can always adjust that in the formatting, but you want it to be big enough where we can see the mistakes or the typos.
Okay.
And sometimes your editor will go back and make those changes. And by all means, if you have a vision for your book, we want to honor that. So if you want, something unique and different, we have templates that you can choose from. So you have a visual style. But as long as it's not going to take like weeks to format because it's something so custom, then we can certainly try to accommodate you on that. And if you're doing a cookbook or like a children's book, like what AJ's doing, it's going to require a little different because it's not going to be flowable. It's going to be a fixed format. And so those are all things that we handle on the publishing side, that we do that for you. So you don't have to stress about all of those things. All you need to focus on is selling your books, marketing your book, promoting your book, and letting people know that you're an author and that they can work with you in this collaborative process.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. All right. Good job. Thank you, guys. And if you have any feedback, please let us know if there's things that are unclear or something that's missing. I don't mind doing a deeper dive and putting that in the training because I really want to make sure you guys have that and you've got the support you need. It's funny. I talked to somebody today in Australia. She bought our do-it-yourself kit a few months ago, and we haven't really heard from her. I'm like, how's it going? And she goes, oh, my book's already out and published. It was a kid's book. And she goes, oh, and by the way, I wrote 2 other books. And we're like, what? So now she's working on her 4th book. So even if you have the elements to go do it on your own without all this support, You guys are fully capable of doing this. You just follow the process, trust the process, and just take action. And if you feel stuck, like you don't know what action to take, reach out, post a question on the Facebook page, ask for support at mydefiningmoments.com. You can email us, or check in with your mentor. So, you know, you're much closer to the end than you think. So,
Can I still check in with Sharon even though like our meetings are
yeah.
over?
I mean, what we do is in the course, we pay for 8 weeks of their time because we want to give you incentive to get it done in 8 weeks or less. And some of you might spread it out a little bit. Some of you started and said, I want to hold my spot, but I'm not ready to start yet because I'm finishing my course. We get that. So we just want you to have those full 8 weeks of really focused energy and momentum to get to your launch, because everything we do now, those of you that are launched looking back realize all those exercises, the wax on, wax off there, you're like, what am I doing here? That's the reason that that we're getting you prepared and warmed up to do media and promotion so that you feel like I said, you have to become the person who wrote the best-selling book. And
He's spying on us, Melanie.
I just know what's in your head, and it is a transformational experience. That's all I can say. So I'm glad that you guys you have the courage to do this. You have the ability, and you've got the support, and you've got a process and a great team of people rooting you on who absolutely love what they do and love to support you. So thank you guys for being here for each other too. And with that, I know we're a little over, so I want to make sure we got a chance to say hello to everybody. Congrats. And hopefully we'll see you all on Saturday, and we can spend more time with some of these questions as well to get you to that next stage wherever you are in this process. So take care, everybody. We'll see you then. Thanks so much and have a great night.
Melanie.
All right. Bye.